Okay, so we're starting immediately. First you want to open up Roblox Studio, click New Experience, or choose one of its templates, it doesn't matter. Once it loads in, first thing you want to do is click Game Settings and save to Roblox. This is in order to change it to R6 instead of R15. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to call it Chase Game. Alright, cool. Save. After you save the game, it should reload itself. Okay. Make sure that it's R6 here, okay? And then you want to click save when you're done. Oh, the game's already done! Alright, first thing I did was I added animations. I stole this from the toolbox. I stole the animations from the toolbox. You can either create your own or just do what I did and get them from this toolbox. You're gonna need a stun animation. I just did a little slap. A heal animation, where they're going to be holding something to heal with, a run animation, an idle animation, and a walk animation. Make sure that these two are not looping, and these three are looping. Okay, once you do that, this is just a kill break, just to test the health out. I also made the abilities UI. I have 3 abilities, so I just made 3 ability GUIs. This is just a normal screen GUI where it has reset on spawn equals true. These can be duplicated. Ability 1, this is the name of the ability, the button, and the keybind. The keybind changes depending on where you want it to be. It doesn't like change here, but this is like the visual for it. Ability name is going to be changed depending on the script, same with the cooldown. There is a cooldown text. Make sure you include a cooldown text. So there's a number there. There'll be a number that shows the cooldown. And just do that 3 times. You could duplicate it and just change the keybind amount. Just change the keybind. But for now, it's going to be invisible. For the health and stamina, you just want an image label for the background. And you want 2 frames for the bars, each with a text inside that says number and bar. For a frame inside as well that says bar. Make sure everything really. But most importantly, these bars need to be based on scale. This one doesn't, but the first number right here, this 1 right here, needs to be based on scale so that if this 1 is equal to 0, it amounts to the size of the frame. So you see this bar? This is the same size as that, but that's only when it's max. So the bars will change size. This is the health bar, stamina bar, doesn't matter what color, doesn't matter the size. You can change it if you want. You make it invisible. In replicated storage, there's a remotes folder. There's a Survivor 1 folder where all the remote events for the first Survivor I created. There's a heal event, a speed event, and a stun event. Those are all the 3 abilities I gave it. There's also a run event. Make sure that's in the remotes folder, not the Survivor 1 folder. I also created a chicken and a sword model. I didn't create them, I just got them from Toolbox. The chicken and the sword model. Make sure that each one has like a handle where they will align to with the arm. So you see that this one's handle is right there. The handle will basically end up, when it's spawned in, to the same position as their right arm. So this is where it would be, so this is where the chicken will be. Same with the sword. The sword's handle is right here, so it goes like that. In server script service, you want just a server script. In starter player, you want a folder named packet. You want a blank or disabled animate script as well as a disabled health script so that you can't regen or have default animations. You want a head turning script, which I got from the toolbox, and a lean script that I also got from the toolbox. I also acquired the smooth shift lock module, which is the same as the one used in Forsaken. In the packet folder, add a folder called animations. This is where you're going to put all your animations. In order to import the animations, so you would export the animation right here, right click it, click save to Roblox. You would click change the creator to whatever you want the creator to be. Name it whatever, save it, copy this right here, ID copied, go back, and then create a new animation in the animations folder for each animation. And you could just paste that animation ID right here in this box. Do that for every single animation. And then you also want a configuration in the packet. This is basically all the settings that are going to be able to be changed for each survivor. Right now I added the jump enabled and jump power. Jump enabled just means, oh, can the player jump? In Forsaken they can't jump, so I just have that off. Jump power is how high they can jump. Max health is their max health. Max stamina is their max stamina. Their run speed is how fast they go when they're running. The speed change time is how quickly their speed changes. So if I'm walking and I start running, it takes about, I put 0.5 seconds before I get to run speed. Stamina empty delay is when the character runs out of stamina completely, they're at 0. How long will it take for that stamina to start gaining back up again? And the normal stamina gain delay is 0.5, so when I let go of the run button, it just waits 0.5 seconds before gaining again. Stamina gain speed is 0.025 for me as well, and the stamina loss speed is 0.05. This is how quickly it's going to gain and lose stamina. And walk speed is 10. Okay, that's all you need for the objects. Now, for the scripts, this is what the local script looks like. I added a wait here because there was always a glitch where the character's attributes wouldn't load all in. Variables, you need players. Local player equals stamina players. This just acquires the players. Replicated storage, this acquires replicated storage. User input service acquires user input service, same for these two. Camera configuration. The configuration is basically just acquiring this configuration. Player, local player, character of that player, the humanoid of that character. Now, for the animations, you want to acquire the animations folder. So the animations folder you created, this is how you get it. So for each animation, you need to basically load it into the humanoid. This is how you do it. So you can just name it whatever. Make sure that it's anims dot the name of the animation. Let's do that for each animation. Make sure you set their priority. So I chose core for the idle animation and idle for both the run and walk animations. This is the chart of how much priority each animation priority has. So core is the lowest and idle is the second lowest, so that the walk and the run animation will overlap over the idle animation. For the stun animation and the heal animation, I put movement, which is 1 above idle, so it should cancel out the run and walk animation or be above it. Make sure that these are all true. This basically just makes the health and stamina visible, and these makes all the abilities visible. Make sure that the humanoid walk speed is equal to the same as the configuration walk speed. And this is just the jump. If the jump is enabled, then it'll just set it to jump power, and if it's not, it'll just be 0. This is the start run function. Basically, it just fires the remote event that's in replicated storage. And end run does the same thing, but with less if statements. This is the input. It only works for computer as of now, but I might add a mobile support in another part. User input service input began. If the input key code is equal to, and I'm gonna key code left shift, the run button left shift, then it starts the run and ends the run. Now, when replicated storage.run.on client event, basically when the replicated storage, the server script sends something back to us, it'll toggle end run. This is basically forcing the player to stop running. This is the force stop running. And if an attribute changes here that says can run, then it will also force the player to stop running. So that's why there's an attribute inside the player that says can run. We'll get to that in the server script. This is the main loop right here. It just sets the health and stamina number to the humanoid.health and creates a tween that makes it smooth right here. Now, if the humanoid health is greater than 0, meaning that if they're not dead, it'll basically check the stamina, all here, check the stamina, tween the stamina, and if they're not moving, the walk animal stops, same with the run animation. If they are moving, then it'll check if they're running right here, and it'll stop the walk animation if they are running. However, if they're not running, it'll stop the run animation and play the walk animation. It also The walk speed also tweens to the intended walk speed attribute inside the character. Same with the FOV. The FOV is 80 and 70, so 80 when they're running and 70 when they're not. Now for the abilities, this is all the ability values that we need. Active ability equals false, ability 1 cooldown, ability 2 cooldown, 3 cooldown. These are all the names of the abilities. You just want to change the ability names and the GUIs to the names that you want. This is the stun ability code right here. You got the stun animation, and you have the remote event. This is how long I want it to last, 1 second. And the cooldown is 30 seconds right here, local cooldown. Make sure that the ability active is true, but only false after the amount of time has passed for the intended, like, how long the ability will last for. And the cooldown for that ability, should it come up after the cooldown time is up. The health ability is really similar, and the speed ability is also really similar. The only difference here is that it changes the FOV as well if they're running. Now for the inputs for the stun abilities, for the abilities, if input is Q, then it does the stun ability. If it's E, then it does the health ability. If it's R, then it does the speed ability. Make sure that these keybinds are similar or the same as the ability keybinds that you put in the GUI. Now for the server script. This is the server script, okay? Obviously you need the players and replicated storage and tween service. So when the run starts, when the player starts their run, it'll tween their run speed to the intended speed. Make sure that you have all these set attributes when they're added to the game over here. It'll change the walk speed, it'll change, yeah, it'll just change the walk speed. Speed, and it uses speed change time in order to tween it. If stamina equals 0, then task.wait, stamina empty delay, stamina gain delay, and then they can gain stamina. For player added, make sure that these are all the attributes that the player will have. It doesn't have, the names probably should make sure that the humanoid max health is also changed to the attribute of max health. This is the loop right here, while task.wait do. If it's basically checking the stamina, it's just continuously using up the stamina if the player is running, and if they're not, it'll gain stamina. These are the abilities, so this is the stun ability. It'll clone the sword model and put it in their hand, and it'll also play a sword sound effect. In the sword model, I put a sword sound effect. If you check the sword model, there's a sound effect right here. So you can change the name of that. This is what the sound sounds like. Wow. And since it lasts for 1 second, which is the same as in the local script, then it'll destroy the sword after the time is up and make it so that they can run again. They can't run during the stun move. And also it lowers their speed by a ton. For the heal move, it's actually way easier. It basically just clones the heal model, which is a chicken, and does the same thing, but it just lasts a bit longer. Instead of 1 second, it's 5 seconds now, as it's the same in the local script. It basically heals them to their max HP, so it doesn't heal a specific number, just to their max HP. And then it deletes the model, and then they can run again. This one also, you can't run during. For the speed one, it basically just makes their speed more. It changes the intended walk speed by 10, and plays a tween for that walk speed. It lasts for 3 seconds, so that's why there's a task.wait 3. And for the local script, it does the exact same thing, except it works with the FOV. And yeah, that's pretty much all the code. If you want, I will post the code in a paste bin so that you guys can take it for free. How generous of me. But yeah, let me show you the final product of all this code. There isn't a starter character yet, but that'll be another part. This is the walk with the lean script. A run. As you can see, the stamina is going down. And it's going back up when I stop running. And when I go to 0 stamina, it should stop for like 2 seconds. Boom. There it is. You gain stamina quicker when you don't go 1-0. This is what the health looks like when you're damaged. It goes down, but it doesn't go back up. Now, let me do the stun ability. So I'm going to be running up to the killer, right? I'm going to press Q. Pow! And there's a 30-second cooldown before I can do it again. Let me do the heal, so I can heal back up with my chicken. Wow. Wow. And it should heal me up to max HP. 100. Perfect. Now let me do the speed ability. So I'm going to start running. I'm going to press the speed button, so I should get much faster. Yep. And I'm going to go back to normal speed after 3 seconds. Perfect. Well, thank you guys for watching. If this does well, I'll make a part 2, and we'll get into the killers and the hitboxes, and probably a bunch of more stuff. Alright, bye.